Okay, where was I? Loctited the pins in, and now we can do the slots for the height adjustment. So what I'm going to do, I don't know how far to put the slot in, so I'm going to check it. Calipers here, I don't remember offhand. So what I'm going to do is just check from the bottom up to the top of that pin. And that is 770. So we're going to go 760. So from the bottom surface up 760. I'm just going to put a scratch mark in because it's not critical. We can always adjust that later anyway. So I've got a mark in there. We're going to do that with a 3/16 hand mill. Put that in here. Device. I got a 1/2 inch cutter in there right now. So I got the right collet so I can put the edge finder in. I think I'm going to move you to the other side over here, so let's see. I'll have to turn you off here and move you over. Okay, so now you're going to be looking over my left shoulder instead of my right side. All right. I got one clamped in there. Put the edge finder in. I want to get the center and get it on the center line. Over here, and we'll pick up the back side and then the front side. Down. Touch. Okay. 0. Now we'll move to the front. And there we'll go Y half, and then we'll move back to the 0. There. And we'll lock our Y because that's where we want to be. That's on the center line. And over here. And I'm just going to put an end mill in. I'm just going to put an end mill in and then touch off. And then go over 760. So let's find an end mill. 2-footer. This one's a little big. Well, this is 187. This one will work. That's got a 3/8 shank, 8 collets. here. Take a piece of paper. Touch, lock it off there, and the depth of that is going to be the depth down to our shoulders here, which is, we're going to go 150. And then we're going to touch 0 and then go in 760. Touch. Right there, 0 and 160. Or 760. Alright. Give that a little air. See if these come down to where they belong. Comes down to the bottom edge flush. That's what I want. Alright, so we got to do all of them like that. Just put it in here, slide it up. $760. Next. There were some questions on my quick change on my lathe. The handle versus the wheel out in front. I prefer the handle in the back, and the lock in the back. One of the reasons I prefer it that way is, if you have the nose out in front, now, I mean, the length doesn't really not all that concerning, but you do, now you're sticking out a ways, and plus you have more. I mean, if you're taking real heavy cuts on a 1-inch diameter, guess what, you're so I don't know. I prefer, like I say, I prefer the handle in the back, and when I get that far, which will be next year, working on the spindle on this little lathe, I am going to attempt to make a miniature of that also for this lathe, so that it has the handle. The only thing I don't like about mine is Only thing I don't like about my handle is that it's downward, pointing downward instead of outward. And someday I am going to work on that. I have to make some different brackets here because there's no place to attach this back here, the anchor point. So it's pointing downward. But if it's pointing out here, and there was a comment about same diameters. Well, some of these motor parts, especially now, I'm thinking about doing a rotary engine. You do have a bunch of parts that are the same diameter that you're going to be doing over and over and over. So I don't know. I guess it's whatever you're comfortable with, I guess. I know I have a friend that has the wheel out in front. He likes it. And he doesn't, he'd rather have that than the handle. And I'm just the opposite. I guess it's all what you're used to. So, and the one that I have on my lathe is not homemade one. It's that is bought. That come from Grizzlies. It didn't work when I first got it because it was so full of burrs on that thing. It was made in China. I mean, anything. It seems like they don't have a deburr department in China. They don't waste time deburring anything. So I ended up deburring everything on it. They got little, like, I call them whistles in there that swivel in a pocket in there, and they were so full of burrs they didn't want to move. So I buffed everything, deburred everything, and it works pretty good. The only thing it doesn't work real well yet is the lock in a position. You know, if you get it to a certain diameter, it's supposed to have a pin that goes in. Well, I took that off because it just didn't work very well. So, but anyway, that's beside the point. We're working on holders. Let's get busy here. Maybe I'll take that one apart during the summer here and do a CAD file of it and do some drawings and stuff. You know, before I decide to make a miniature. I also have my father-in-law's old lathe sitting behind my lathe that I want to work on. Too many things to do, not enough time to do it. I probably will never use that lathe for my father-in-law. It's just going to be a talk or a display. All right, I got them all cut. So now we got to figure out what type of an adjustment screw we want to put in the top to adjust the height. You know, because you screw the screw down on there and it adjusts the height of the tool. I'm not sure what size screw I want to put in there. I've got 8s that might work. I also have some number 6s. Probably 6s. I don't probably want to go any smaller than that. Yeah. Number 6. 632s. What do I have for set screws for that? fives are getting kind of small. Although fives would work also. 540s. Maybe I should hold off on that until I might hold off on that until I get some set screws ordered. I thought I had ordered some set screws, a bag of set screws. I didn't see. What size they were. So I might have to order some more since I don't know what I've done with them. But I think that's what I'm going to do. Is I'm going to hold off on putting that set screw in. So the next is to cut the slot for the tool bits. That also I don't know. I was thinking 3/16 tool bits, but I haven't gotten a chance to order any. So it's two things that I need to order. And once I have decided that, then I'll do that. So what do we got left? We have left is the handle here. I can go ahead and do that on the lathe. Get some 3/16 stock, put some threads on, and then figure out a length. That length right there actually looks pretty good. You know, and it's plenty long enough to clamp them. I think that's the length I'm going to make. And then a ball or something for the end. I think this is 3/16 stock right here. A little bit rusty, but no, that's 250. That's 250. I know I got some 3/16s. There we go. Some 3/16s. It's a little bit rusty, but polish the rust off, and we'll make those handles. So we will shut down here on the mill and clean up, and we'll scooch over to the lathe. Okay, I could set it up and do some threading, single pointing, but I'm going to do it the easy way. I have a die here because it's only going to be just a short little threaded piece that's going to fit into, it's going to fit into this here, which is, there's not a whole lot of threads there, so we're just going to go ahead and do it that way. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move this over here. I've got that oiled up already. Start from this side, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the tailstock up to hold it straight. I don't have a die holder, so that's going to hold it straight. And I need a crescent wrench that size that I can. That I can turn it with and get this oil can out of the way for a bit, and we're going to turn the tailstock, feed it in as the die goes in. And all that is the drill chuck face is holding it square. so we don't get some kittywampus threads. And that's probably already far enough right there. I'm going to take that off of there and see. It doesn't need much for thread. Maybe just a little more. We got about maybe 150 thou thread there. Now to get it started back in there. There we go. Maybe a couple more turns. Stuff is threading pretty nice and easy with the die. These smaller threads are easier with the die than, no, if that was a 1/2 inch thread or a 3/8 thread, yeah, I would probably not even think about doing it with a die. I'd do it with, there we go. That's what I want right there. Alright, let's measure the length of this screw, because the screw that I have in here looks about the right length that I want. Let's take that out of there, if I can. Take that out and see what we got. We have about 1 inch 150. I'm going to go 1 inch 100. And we're going to part that off. I should clean this up though, the rust off of that first. Get some emery paper and emery that rust off of there a little bit. Polish that rust off. I'm looking for an old piece of emery. I need to get, the next time I get to Menards or somewhere, some Scotch Brite pads. Lathe hasn't been running, so let's get low speed here. We'll get the oil circulating. Kind of like me getting the blood circulating. All right, let's go with 800. I might cold blue that anyway. I did order some cold bluing compound. I've never done it before. We're going to give that a whirl. Give that a shot. Now I want my part off blade, but I want my narrow one. Here it is. I need to figure that out and cut that too. I wonder if they make a smaller part off blade. Look for something miniature size. Alright. And I'm just going to put the scale down there on it. About 1 inch. So we got to pull a little more out. And we gotta rub some more rust off here. God darn it, a little chip got me. What do you do with the, what? Oh, Looking for my emery paper that I picked up here. Now, an inch. What did I say? Inch and 100? Inch. I'm gonna go inch 150. And then we'll make a little brass ball for that yet too. So we gotta do that one more time. Put chamfer on that end. And I just set that up here. There you go. Chamfer. And then we'll pull that out some more. 1 inch. That'll do. All right. Now we'll go with the die again. First I'm gonna put some of this stuff on there. Don't ask me what the name of that stuff is. I don't know. Well, it's on the 5-gallon bucket over there. I suppose I could look. But I was given that 5-gallon bucket because they tested it at work and they didn't like it. And they were going to throw it out or dump it or put it in chemical recycle. And they asked me if I wanted it. And I said, yeah, I'll take it. So they gave it to me. It's a Trimsol brand, and that's what I use. And they knew that that's what I was using as trim, the blue stuff. I really like that for coolant. You can put it in a coolant tank or whatever, and it doesn't stink after an amount of time. A lot of coolants you'll buy, and a month after you had them in the coolant tank, they stink to high heaven. And I don't like that. And the trim doesn't do that. Trim can be in the coolant tank quite a while and doesn't smell up the shop. And as far as misters, it's not a misting coolant, it's a flood coolant. I don't like misters, putting mist in the air, especially with my vehicle sitting in here. I don't need an oily coat on my vehicles, so I don't do that. I won't mist. I'll shoot air on. Just air alone will sometimes suffice. I mean, keep your part cool enough. Just by a little bit of air. I was always going to make a cold air gun, but I haven't done that. Used to have one at work that worked pretty nice. That was adjustable. I can't remember what the name of the company is that made those. All I know is I liked them. Didn't put crap in the air. Just they're loud. You have to wear hearing protection, but and plus they use a lot of compressed air. But but they work nice without any chemicals. Part off tool. And 1 inch, 150, or about that, approximately. Good enough right there. Raise that up a little bit. There we go. Now, take the stock out of there. Before I take the stock out, I want to take a file and knock the burr off. It's always easier when you come to use it next time to get it in the chuck if you do that. Alright, gotta go around the back side. Whoop. There we go. It fits a little snug in the collet due to that rust that's built up on it. Alright. Beggars can't be choosy though. Well, I didn't beg for that, but my father-in-law gave me that. Alright. Oh, there was a comment about adjusting, going around back to adjust. You really don't have to. You can just reach around there and give it a little spin. And I find it no different than giving this a spin. You're giving it a spin back there. So, like I say, each to his own. I'm just knocking the burr off so that when we come to put a ball on there that we don't have the burr messing with us. Trying to decide what size ball we want to make for that. Something standard.